What if I told you that the first call with a client can make or break your entire motion design project? Yep, one conversation, big difference. Today, I'm gonna give you a set of powerful questions that every motion designer should ask on the first client call, neatly wrapped in 10 categories, including one that most designers forget to ask, but it instantly makes you look like a pro. So let's jump right in. This is your foundation. Start with what's the purpose of this project. And yes, this sounds simple, but it tells you why this motion design project needs to exist. Are they selling something, explaining something, teaching something? Knowing this keeps you focused on the goal, not just making something that looks cool. Then ask, what do you want to achieve with this motion design? Now you're getting deeper. Maybe they want to increase signups or get more people to watch their full video or make their brand look more modern. You'll design very differently depending on their goal, and follow that up with, how will success be measured? This one is essential. They might be watching views, engagement, click-throughs, or internal feedback. When you know how they define success and what they'll judge your work on, you can work toward that and check if the design is doing its job. Now it's time to talk about who this is for. So ask, who is your target audience? If they say everyone, that is a big red flag. You want to help them narrow it down. Is it teenagers who love tech, busy moms, new business owners? Who is it exactly? And then go, what are the demographics or psychographics of the audience? Demographics, that's age, gender, income, and so on. Psychographics, it's more about lifestyle, values, and interests. Both are key. A video for startup founders will look very different from one for teachers or gamers. And now, the fun part. How do you want the audience to feel or react when they see this? Excited, motivated, comforted, shocked? That emotional goal shapes your music, your pacing, and your style choices. Next, you want your design to match their brand, like it was always a part of it. So start with, can you describe your brand's identity? They might say things like, well, we're fun and playful, or we're high-end and luxury. This helps you choose your colors, the motion style, and even the transitions. Then take it a step further and ask, do you have a brand style guide or visual guidelines? If they say yes, well, that's awesome. That's your cheat sheet. If they say no, that's your chance to define the style yourself. So follow up with, do you have any examples of past work or inspiration? Ask for old videos, for ads, even Instagram posts they like. And this avoids guessing what they mean by cool or clean, or my personal favorite, make it sexy. A picture or a video saves 1,000 emails along the way. Now we talk about the actual look and feel. So go ahead and ask, do you have a specific creative direction in mind? Some clients will have a full vision. Others will say, well, I'm not sure. And that's your opportunity to guide them and show your creativity. Then ask, are there any visual references or inspiration? This is where mood boards, Behance links, or cool animations they've seen come into play. Visual references make sure you're on the same page before you start designing. And at the end here, ask, what's the story or message you want to tell? This one is so important. Even short motion pieces should have a clear message. It helps you keep the animation tight and focused and make sure the audience remembers something. Now, for something more practical, you need to be clear early because surprises later on are the worst. So start with, what's your deadline for this project? This tells you if the timeline is realistic or if you need to adjust the scope. Then, are there any milestones or review points we need to meet? This helps you plan when to show work in progress, get feedback, and avoid the last-minute panic. And finally, what's your budget for this project? This isn't about being nosy or getting more money out of the client. It helps you figure out what's possible. A $500 budget versus a $5,000 budget produces very different results. And if they're not sure, you can suggest ranges based on their goals. This part clears up what you're making so there are no assumptions involved. So start by asking, what's the final output format? Is it an Instagram story, a YouTube ad, trade show screen? Each one needs different sizes and settings. And then take it a step further. Are there multiple versions? Maybe they want a full-length video and a 15-second cut down. Or maybe 2 versions in 2 different languages. That adds work, so it should be discussed early. And will you need extras like storyboards, stills, or thumbnails? These are often needed for approvals, thumbnails, or social media posts, and they're an opportunity to add value and charge accordingly. Now let's talk about specs. Do you have any technical preferences or limitations? They might need a certain frame rate, a file type, or an animation style. Knowing this helps you set up your project right from day one. Then, will this be used with other media? If it's going into a website or an app or a video player, you need to match the look and export format. This also affects how you animate because some platforms don't support certain effects. Now for that killer question I mentioned earlier. Who's the final decision maker? This question saves projects. If you're getting feedback from 5 people but only one person matters, you could be making changes that get undone. So ask it up front. It shows that you're a professional. And you should also ask who will be the main point of contact. It's helpful to know exactly who you'll be talking to for updates and feedback, and if that person has a direct line of communication with the decision maker. And you should also ask what's their preferred method of communication. Some clients love email while others want Slack or video calls. Knowing this helps you stay aligned and respectful to their workflow. Now, assets and resources. This is about what they'll give you. So you should ask, will you provide any assets like logos, fonts, images, or footage? This can save you a ton of time and help keep things on brand. Then, do you have a script or voiceover, or should I help with that? If they need help, it's a chance to add extra services, or you can bring in a scriptwriter or a voiceover artist. And finally, are there any legal or licensed assets I should know about? Like music that needs to be royalty-free or images that they bought. You don't want to use something without permission, obviously. And you should definitely end the call on a future-focused note. So ask, is this a one-time project or do you see more coming? This opens the door for a long-term relationship. Clients love when you think beyond just the one video. And also ask, how does this fit into your overall strategy? This helps you understand the bigger picture. Maybe this video is a part of a campaign or it's the first in a series. That context makes your work stronger. Having answers to all these questions will give you a head start, and they'll be especially useful when coming back with the proposal and when pricing the project. But if you don't know where to start with pricing, you should watch this video next, where I break down my pricing structure by freelancing experience.